You have the stocking, and then you have something you want, something you need, something to do, and something to read. And this is like a cute little saying or whatever, but I'm gonna go through this idea and I'm gonna talk about why each one of these different gifts might be important. Hi, I'm Amy on A Lolly Life, and the question of the day is, how many gifts are too many? How many gifts should you give your kids? Is it wrong to give them a couple extra gifts? Is spoiling them really a bad thing? These are questions like we need to know the answers to. There are really 3 different areas when it comes to you giving gifts to your kids that you need to consider. And it's the stockings, Santa, and us. See? I couldn't think of an S word for us, so I just us. And I'm just talking some basics, and maybe your holiday differs from this. You know, perhaps you don't hang stockings for your holidays. That's okay. Just rearrange it to how it works best for you. But this is just about the idea of what kind of gifts would be appropriate to give and where a line should be. You are going to have to decide where that line actually ends up being, because you're the best person to decide that for your family. I'm just going to give you some ideas that you can then use to decide where that line should fall in your life and for your children. When it comes to gift giving, less is more. When kids have so many things that they're just like drowning in them, they don't appreciate them. And so giving kids less gives them more because it gives them an appreciation for the life around them. The truth is that life doesn't just keep giving and giving and giving. You have to give something back. And so when you do that to your kids, when you just give and give and give and give and never, require anything back, it sends them the wrong message about what their life is going to be like as an adult. And adulting is hard enough without those kinds of problems. I did a video on budgeting, which it hasn't come out yet, but I did do a video on budgeting. It's just going to come out later so that it's like budgeting for next Christmas. But this video is about this Christmas and next Christmas and the one after that. One of the things that I talked about was that you decide how much money you're going to allot to each individual person, particularly like, say, your kids. There's more that comes into play into deciding how much you're going to allot to each individual kid than just, say, a dollar amount, because a lot of times you put a dollar amount, but then you don't take into account this or this or this or that. Let's say you say, I'm gonna spend $50 on a gift for my child, and you spend $50 on a gift for your child, but you also spent an additional $25 in candy and junk for their stocking. And what about the gift that Santa brings? Does Santa bring him a gift? Is that something that's part of your holiday? If it is, if you were budgeting money, that would be included in that. But the first is stockings. Stockings are one of the first things that we dive into when we get up on Christmas morning and, the kids go running into the other room. There's their stocking. When I think of stockings, I think of putting things in there that I am okay with them eating before they actually eat breakfast. Your stocking is first breakfast. If you fill your stocking completely with chocolate and other sweets, well, your child probably is going to fill their tummy with chocolate and other sweets and have a tummy ache by the end of the day or by the end of the hour. I know that my children did that occasionally. Over the years, I came to realize that's what they eat first thing in the morning on Christmas. Imagine that. I put out a stocking of stuff for them and they eat it? Well, guess I better be a little bit more particular about what I put in their stocking. Just something to keep in mind is that the stocking does take a little bit of money to actually get the little things that you would want to put in a stocking. That is a gift in and of itself. The stuff that you put in their stocking, that is a gift. Even if it's just like maybe some little Matchbox cars or fingernail polishes, whatever else that, the little tidbit toys, the tiny little things that you would put in there. That is a gift. And so when you're thinking about gifts, this is something that you include in the gift section. Stocking, that is one gift. Actually, sometimes it counts as more than one gift. Don't discount that and exclude it from the number of gifts that you're giving your children. The stocking and the stuff that you put in that can get kind of expensive. That is a gift. And the second S in the S is Santa. And before we get into Santa, I'm going to talk about the idea of 5 gifts. You have the stocking, and then you have something you want, something you need, something to do, and something to read. And this is like a cute little saying or whatever. But I'm going to go through this idea, and I'm going to talk about why each one of these different gifts might be important and how you would pull that together. But so you have the stocking, but the something you want, in my mind, that's what Santa brings. Santa brings something they want, something they've been asking for. At our house, the Santa gift actually isn't wrapped because the Santa gift should be so personalized to the individual that they would automatically look at that and say, I know that gift is for me because that is something I want and I've wanted it for a while. And so, however you decide to do your gifts, the Santa gift is something you want. That should be it. Like, it's okay to have it be one gift from Santa. One gift. Stocking Santa us. Stocking Santa us. That's where the s comes in. Okay, so it's maybe not the best way to think of it, but it was what my mind came up with. And therefore, it is a good way to think of it. I still like the s. Then you have the other 3. So you have the, stocking and something you want, something you need. My son, this year for Christmas, he needs new jeans. But that's not necessarily a super fun gift. It's not fun. That's something that we could put in the something you need gift. Get him a couple pairs of jeans, something that he needs, and wrap it up and give it to him. It gives him one more thing to open, but it's something that he needs. That kind of gift is actually important because there are different kinds of gifts. Children, people, adults even, should know how to respond to getting different kinds of gifts. Not every gift that you get is going to be something where you I've been wanting this for so long. Not every gift is like that, and it's okay. When children open a gift and it's something they need, and they still respond in a nice, positive manner, it teaches something. And if they don't respond in a nice, positive manner, well, it might be time for you to teach them something. And, just remind them gently, this is still a gift. You need to be nice about it. You need to be polite. You need to thank them, thank people for it. And so a need gift is a good gift. It teaches things beyond just me. Stocking, something you want, which is Santa, something you need, something to do. So the something to do. Here is a big problem that happens Christmas morning in many, many places. Many houses for many people. There is this great anticipation of Christmas morning, and we look forward to it all month, all year for that matter. And we're so excited about it. And the kids are they can't even get to sleep practically because they're just bouncing off the walls with so much excitement to Christmas morning and opening presents and But then they open the presents and there's this feeling. Have you ever had that feeling? Where you're well, we're done. And it's not that you're dissatisfied with the gifts that you received, or maybe you are, but generally speaking, it's not because the children or you or, the people are dissatisfied with the gifts that they received. It's because now what do? You've opened these gifts and not a single one of them has something to actually do. Maybe it's a bicycle, but it's snowing outside and you can't go out and ride your bicycle outside and mom's not gonna let you ride it in the house. It's not something to do. You're excited about the bicycle. You love the bicycle, but it's not something to do right then, to do that day. Something that would keep them busy. Perhaps it's a Lego set. Perhaps it's a puzzle. I really love puzzles. And so most years for Christmas, I get a puzzle. I love it. It's something to do. And so over the next couple of days or the next week or over the vacation, those kinds of things, it gives me something to do. To do. I am going to be a bird chirping. To do. And so when you're picking out gifts, one of the gifts should be an activity to do. Another thing to be said about the something to do is if you give your child a video game, it needs to be okay that they then veg out and play video games for hours and hours on end. When you give the gift of electronics, gaming, well, anything, part of the gift is allowing the person you gave it to use that. And it is appropriate to let them overuse it for a few days. At least a few days. Probably a week. You need to just kind of come into this realization that if you give them a new tablet for Christmas, wow, that is a very big gift. But let's say that you gave them a video game or a new tablet or something like that. You can just assume that over the next week, they're going to spend entirely too much time on said game, video, tablet, whatever it happens to be, on the phone that you gave them. That's another really big gift. I'm not sure that's a good one. But you need to mentally prepare yourself for this outcome, because it will happen. It is inevitable. And if you try to make it not happen, you are just going to make yourself and the person that you gave the gift to miserable. Maybe as the week goes on and, after several days, as they've, spent entirely too much time playing the video game, time that you would not normally let them spend on electronics or whatever it happens to be, you might want to just mention that in a few days or, at the end of the week, we're probably going to go back to our regular rules. And now we come to the pinky finger. Something you read doesn't have to be a book. The something you read category is more something that would be educational. Truthfully, the something to read category, a book is a really great idea. But maybe the child that you're giving something to really struggles in reading and doesn't like books. And that's not necessarily going to be a super great gift for them. And it's not that you shouldn't be encouraging the child to read by giving them books. But as a parent, sometimes you just know that's not the best gift for this child. Instead of something to read, it could be an educational thing. It has instructions that they have to follow. So that could be a cookbook with some things to make pies. I made a video about that recently. That is the something to read. It is a little bit of education. And yes, books are a really great educational thing, but they're not the only educational thing. If you decide that you really do need to get them a book and they're not a reader, a graphic novel is a really good suggestion. It is an amazing way to inspire a non-reader to read, because they don't have to read every single word. The pictures tell some of the story, but they are interested enough in the story that they start to read some of it, and it keeps them engaged in the book. And so graphic novels, very good idea for a non-reader. Or not necessarily a non-reader, but a non-liking reading reader. That would be me growing up, because I really did not like reading. I have dyslexia. Learning to read, very, 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 very difficult. That is my list on gift giving. So when you are taking into account how much money and how many gifts that you're going to give a child, you need to think about the stocking and Santa and us. Stocking, Santa, something I want, something I need, something to do, something to read. Having them fill those roles actually makes the gifts more meaningful and more interesting to the children, or to your children, or to your, whoever it is that you're giving gifts to. Look, I came up with an extra S one. Like and subscribe. Today's video is brought to you by the letter S for So we're done with our gift giving episode, and so I'll see you next time on A Lolly Life.